Back on MorningLine, our final segment with Malpractice attorney Clint Kelly, just excellent at what he does, and really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
You do a great job. I've learned so much from you. We've got some more calls, final segment here. Let's go to, I think we've got Sally first. Sally, good morning. Hi, Sally.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I am calling because my brother went into the hospital a few years back with back problems. They put him on an antibiotic and put him in a nursing home and was feeding it intravenously. Mm-hmm. Well, what they were giving him was not helping. And what happened was he ended up going into the emergency room again because he was hurting badly with pain. So what they did was they came in and they wanted to give him another MRI. Well, he couldn't even move by this time, and he didn't refuse it. He just couldn't get out of the bed to get on with the MRI. And so my sister-in-law, they did a whole thing with staying there and
yeah.
So my sister-in-law finally said, listen, we're not going to do this. I'm bringing him, we lived in Connecticut.
Yeah.
I'm bringing him to Yale. They brought him to Yale. The doctors opened him up. Pus started just coming out of his body. To make a very long story short, he's now paralyzed from his chest all the way down, and it's so upsetting still today.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. And you think they missed it, that first hospital missed it, and
they missed it, and they brought him to several convalescent homes, keep giving him antibiotics. Well, what happened was my sister-in-law went to do a malpractice because it was malpractice. Well, when they got to the lawyers read all the information and said, well, we can't do anything about it because your husband refused to go into the MRI.
We'll talk about that for a moment.
Okay, hang tight on that.
Yeah,
So, interesting.
Let's talk about the refusal, Sally, because that leads to a good topic. This is a defense that hospitals use. It's called AMA, or against medical advice, is a form that patients are typically required to fill out if they refuse treatment. Now, in his situation, if he's having difficulty getting from the bed to the MRI, that's not refusal.
That's not refusal.
That's, in my opinion, that's the hospital not doing its job.
Find a way to get him there.
Get him in there.
Yep.
So I don't understand on those facts how that could be refusal. But you know, Nick, Connecticut is a different legal system, and I don't know if they have different laws than we do, but that does not sound like refusal to me.
Right. And their argument would be is if someone actually did refuse, they'd say, look, the MRI would have found that infection. We could have treated it because he didn't go in there. We didn't know, so how can you hold us responsible? But you're right. If she's saying he didn't refuse, he just couldn't physically because he was in pain, getting a couple orderlies in there and put him in there, and I would have thought if that was the case and you could make that argument, his attorneys would have. I wonder if he just said, I'm sick of this, I don't want it anymore, no.
That's what I was going to say. That's the typical situation. Somebody goes to the emergency room, the doctor prescribes treatment, let's just say wants them hospitalized for a day. Patient says, no, I'm going home. And so the doctor will have them fill out an AMA form saying you're leaving against medical advice to protect the hospital in case the guy goes home and has a heart attack.
Right. And I understand that, and that's fine for the hospitals to do that. And Sally, I don't know in that situation. I'm so sorry
about that.
that happened and that he turned out that way. It's very tough. Let's go to Tom. I think we have Tom. Tom, good morning. Hi, Tom.
Hey, good morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good. What's on your mind?
Well, I got a couple of questions. First, I want to know where Bree's at.
Okay, I'll fill that in a second. Sure.
Okay. And the next one, I was listening to him talk about the physicians, the doctors, and their, I guess their practice nurses or whatever.
Yeah.
When you go, my girlfriend just went to one, and they took and put her. He sent her to a place for therapy. She just had back surgery. They sent her in for therapy, and they give her this dry needle work. Well, they put her in this traction machine, and it stretches you out. And the person that was beginning to do this, he was doctoring her. Well, he wasn't there, and some other guy came in there to do the therapy test on her, and he turned around and let the machine go release itself faster than it's supposed to. When it did, it blew the disc out in her cervical spine.
Oh.
And now she stands a chance of having surgery, now being paralyzed because of the therapist down there had to let the machine go. And see, these machines are supposed to let you down little by little.
Tom, when did this
not
happen?
drop you.
When did this happen?
And like I said, they dropped her and they blew her disc out, and now she stands. She had surgery.
Okay, Tom.
Yes,
when did it happen, Tom?
Oh, about 3 months ago.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, let me let Clint answer that, and then I'll tell you about Bree when he gets worn out. But what do you think? That sounds interesting. Here.
Tom, why don't you call my office or have your girlfriend call my office? It's 615-8-million, 615-800-0000. Just dial 8 and a bunch of zeros. And when you call, ask to speak to Michelle. She's my paralegal that does an intake. And she will ask you certain questions that will help me analyze the case. I want to run this past a neurologist, and that's what I do. I call experts, and I have experts look at factual scenarios like this to make a determination whether there was negligence. What concerns me here is if she gets paralyzed or has some type of neurological damage where she can't walk as well as she used to, she might have a claim. But I'd need to know more about it. But that's a good situation. She's 3 months out, so you're definitely within the statute of limitations.
Definitely worth checking into.
She may have some very significant damages. Hope not. Hope she doesn't get paralyzed. Hope that she makes a full recovery. But this is a very, very scary situation.
I'll have his contact information up again at the end of the show, so just stay right there and you can write it down. But as he said, it's 8 and then
615-8-million.
The question here too, though, is standard of care and whether or not the doctors were dealing it. But he also said it sounds like, is it possible too? What if that machine that she was strapped onto malfunctioned as well? I mean, that could be. I mean, that would be something that's a case as well, wouldn't it?
It could be. More often than not, if the machine isn't working properly, it's because it's not being supervised or monitored properly.
Okay. So
that's
they're hand in
usually
hand.
how that shakes out. In any event, it's definitely a case that's worth looking into and reviewing.
That's when I say at the beginning of the show, this is why you should call in someone like Tom. There's actually no harm in calling and checking with what he just said. Find out, and and if something's been done wrong, you deserve to have some relief from that. That's what this is all about. Yeah, free call, and the other thing that Clint will do also, if for some reason you don't take a case, you'll explain why.
I will put it in writing why I don't take the case, so everyone understands why they don't have that. I mean, that's part of being a lawyer, is advising people.
But that's why you're a class act. We've had how many calls here, and I've run into it before, where people say they've had lawyers who all of a sudden just dropped them and they had no idea why.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as a professional in any field, my field, you owe people an explanation. If I don't do a story after I go out and interview someone, and for some reason we don't get to it, we can't do it, I call them personally and let them know. I know that's different from you, but if you hear a case and someone's concerned about their personal case, you at least let them know why you don't do it if you can't.
That's part of being specialized in my business, is that's what we are trained to do. We are trained to let the patients or prospective clients know why we didn't take the case, and I do it in writing so they have something to look to and refer to if they want to talk to somebody else.
Very cool. I just want to make sure, did that cover our calls right now, Mary Elena? Okay, I didn't know if I was missing one because some of these lights, some people just stay on and listen to us as we go. Was that?
I'm curious too.
Thank you. Bree, of course, part of our weather team. We miss her dearly. She had a medical procedure. I don't know what it was exactly. It was nothing serious or life-threatening, but it took some time for her to rehab. And, excuse me, she, I think, posted just a while back on Facebook, and she's doing great. She's almost recovered. And I think, do you know Mary Elena? I think she may be back next week. But she's due back, and it's always nice when people miss her, and we've all missed her because she is she's on air. She's great. She's the same ham off the air. I mean, she's just fun to talk to. She's just a good person.
You develop relationships with these people, Nick, and then when they're not around, you're like, where are they?
Exactly. Our viewers do that, and I appreciate that. And I think people get that relationship on this show as people have come to know you as well. All right, just to wrap things up, remind folks where your office is.
My office is in Hendersonville. It's easy to get to.
I've been there.
Yeah. You can reach me at 615-8-million, like I said, 800-0000. You can also find me online at kellyfirm.net. That's kellyfirm.net. I take cases all over the state of Tennessee and as well as Southern Kentucky. I will assure you, if you call and we do an intake, I will let you know in writing if I don't take the case. If I do take the case, you will come in and see me. You don't pay anything unless I recover money for you. So basically, it's the situation just like what you see on TV with some other lawyers. It's no different in my business in terms of the fact you're not going to have to pay anything unless I recover money for you. So make the call. It's free, and it's also confidential. I don't discuss this with anybody else. Definitely not your healthcare provider.
Yeah, especially the stuff you deal with, HIPAA laws and things like this. You're very confidential on people's medical, and that's called contingency, right?
Correct. That's contingency.
He gets paid if he wins, and he wins a lot. Now, you don't always go to trial, by the way. A lot of times you'll settle things.
Yeah, and most cases settle. I'd say about 3/4 of my cases settle, and that's usually to the benefit of the client to go ahead and get paid and move on as opposed to try the case. But sometimes you got to try the case, Nick, particularly if they don't want to pay.
Exactly. Well, Tom, make sure you make that call, and I'll be curious to hear next time you come on. If you think something like that works out.
Good to see you.
A pleasure, my friend.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Let's hope it's a little drier next month.
We're both wearing jeans today because it's kind of wet out there. Have a good day. Listen, he'll be back in a month, everyone. We'll take a break. I'll be back with a programming note right after this and more information on his contacts.